And hello, welcome back to the stream. Of course, you know how it is, who it is at this stage. If you don't, well, welcome. My name is mildly startled. Not my real name, of course, but I've got to keep some mystery around my life to attract the more romantic types. And we are going to be replaying Grand Tactician American Civil War, well, the Civil War. I keep calling it American Civil War, but it's not, because a new update's come out. So what's the new update done? It's added new settings. For example, if you weren't a fan of the readiness mechanic, which actually I was a fan of, you could turn on always full readiness, so a bit more of an aggressive game. Continuous VP, you could turn that off so you don't have the VPs in game. And they've added new campaign mechanics, so they've reworked national morale, so hopefully you won't have the Union piling in or Confederacy piling in too soon, based on around national support within states. And they've also changed the battle mechanics a bit, so the AI will have to be a bit smarter in terms of refusing flanks and holding the line. As sort of a tradition, I always go back and play Grand Tactician once a new update is out to see how it's coming on. I've always been rather confident in most battles. The only time I've ever actually lost a battle is back ages ago, back when they had the great manpower bug, where the Union got loads of European manpower. So I was going to battles with 90,000 men, and the Union was having like 200,000. With the latest patch, I haven't seen the Union or the opponent battle AI be that difficult. And I think most of that is probably due to not being particularly well equipped, and also I think also the core system. So I know on the battlefield in later periods of the game, you end up with your enemy using the core system, so different small armies moving around. Unfortunately, this means that sometimes those armies won't fully join the battle. So you'll have 200,000 Union troops, and they'll march down, and two corps aren't close enough to reinforce. So you end up fighting only 100,000 men rather than 200,000, which of course makes the game a lot easier. So although the American Civil War without the core system would be like this Second World War without tanks, I think they may need to rework the core system on the campaign map to make it more, make them as larger armies, basically. Just make them larger armies, get rid of the core system, and make the divisions within each army a core, so to speak. That way, you'll always be fighting the full force, whereas I can normally cheese it with my Confederate armies, making them rather large. So we'll be playing the Confederate campaign, again, not particularly because of any preference, but I want to see how well the Union AI holds up in terms of aggressiveness, and I want to see if it's a challenge. We're going to do something a bit different as well. We're not going to go for the European intervention, we're going to go for what I believe is the stronger strategy for the Confederacy, which is the... turning on very hard, let's put your bonus up to massive, which is going full industrialization. So you have things such as industrialization, which increases the Southern's industrial capacity, which of course means better guns, more guns quickly, meaning larger armies, and also more manpower and things like that. Arms agents, which means at the start you get more weapons in your stockpile, which you can of course make larger armies with. And the Southern Pacific Railroad, which again increases transportation and construction speed. All three basically turns you into a mini Union. Before I went down King Cotton, and I think I went down the Old Dominion, but they're more for European intervention. So no bonuses for me. We're going to go straight in now, because I've done too much talking, and we're going to start a new campaign in 1861. So I've been keeping my ear to the ground in terms of watching the Steam discussions, and I think a lot of what's holding people back from playing the game is the battle AI. Unfortunately, you never have a perfect AI, you never have some military genius AI, which is just going to be always a challenge. But it is, but at the same time, people do want something that if it resembles at best something challenging. Oh, hello, Bistobel. Welcome back. Trying a new update for the Grand Tactician, the Civil War. So they've added a new thing, which is a good quality of life aspect. So now you can turn off battle monuments. I don't know if you've seen before my previous campaigns, but sometimes the battle monuments, especially up by Washington, get in the way and you can't actually see army strength. Again, this is the pre-start to the Civil War, so we'll go straight into policies. First thing you do is Militia Act and the military one, because your big limiting factor, if you're going to go for this sort of strategy, will be manpower for the Confederacy. Once we get this done, we'll go down economics, so we can start printing money, and then we'll go down industry to get better guns. This isn't too complex right now. It's basically an early build-up for you to get into the game and sort of understand what you need to do. The war hasn't started yet, so you're going to be pretty relaxed. Also, I do need to... One second, guys. I should have done this earlier, but one guy left a comment in one of my previous Grand Tactician Civil War games where he wanted a certain general or certain officer. Now, I'm not going to try too hard to find it, but I'm going to do my best to see if I can assist, so to speak. Let's see if he's in here. Stand Watty. Okay, Stand Watty, that's what I'm looking for. So if I go to my generals, let's see if Stand Watty is lurking in the sidelines. Stand Watty. Don't think he is. A bit of a shame. Stand Watty. Apparently he was an Indian fellow. Stand Watty and his Indian Brigade. Let's see if I can find him. If I put Watt, is that going to find anyone? Walker, Walton, Plain, Walker. Oh, 2 walkers, okay. No runners, I see. I'm here all week. Well, you can't say I didn't try. Maybe he's in the Union. Maybe he's in the Union officer roster. Maybe I'll get more officers once I get to session. But we'll try. Yep. So again, still in terms of strategy, it's always the same sort of meta for me when I play this game as the Confederacy. Build one army or build up the army in Missouri and take over St. Louis to get Missouri to secede, and move an army up in Kentucky to get Kentucky to secede, and then hold the two fronts while moving up on the east. Texas joins Confederacy, that's always good. But yeah, it's more or less the same strategy. Of course, the readiness has changed a bit, so it takes me a bit longer to move in and take Missouri, and it takes me a bit longer to move in and to take Kentucky, which is also good. That's why I think the game should be played with readiness, because it slows down the combat and it allows time for your Union, for the AI opponent to build up or rebuild its armies after a decisive battle. Whereas if you're always on full readiness, you can just march everywhere. Like I've had games where I've just marched all the way to New York, just building supply lines. Policies-wise, not much going on. Basic tip I would say is don't spam policies at the start, because the more policies you pick, the longer they take to research. So if you decide to research like 5 policies at once, it's going to take you a year to actually get anywhere. Whereas if you say research one policy at a time, you'll get that policy and you can move on to another policy, which is a much more efficient way, especially early on, because I fell for that trap one time. I had no manpower. And it felt bad, man. Still, I've got 2 games on my sights for Strategy Sunday. One is a free-to-play game where it's basically a defensive strategy game where you defend against the invading, I think it's not Huns, I think it's the Mongols. And I've forgotten what the name is, but we may move on to that. And also I've got War or Battle of Empires, which is basically a Men of War game, but set in the First World War, which I'm tempted to move to as well, if I can get it to run, because it's quite an old game. And then August time, there's a game called Alien Fireteam coming out. It's been rather below the radar, which is quite well, I'd say not a cause concern, but suspicious how below the radar it's been. That's done. That's done. And that's basically left the dead board, left 3 dead because it's only 3 players, third person. Where of course you play like an Alien Colonial Marine. Of course, Alien Colonial Marines was a disaster, an absolute catastrophe. So that meant that the so I'm hoping this one's better, basically, and hopefully it's not too bad. But fingers crossed. You know, we've had so many bad Alien games that maybe it'll be like Alien Isolation, where it's that 1 gem. But I don't know how many hours I've got on this game. Probably over 100 now. It's just a good game to come back to. And unlike other strategy games, it's slow. It's methodical. You can plan things out, and you're not. It's not like a Total War where everything's done in 5 seconds. So we've done our military policies. This war hasn't kicked off yet, so there's no point researching down here anymore. So we're going to move down to economic. So we have lots and lots of money, and as soon as the war kicks off, we're going to switch back to military to get our manpower, because manpower is the limiting factor for the Confederacy. Everything else can sort of, you know, it's not a big thing. Civil order will bump that up to keep civil support high. But, I think that's one of the things they still need to get to fix is the economics, because it doesn't really mean anything at this stage. Yeah, I've never really thought, oh, I'm running out. I've never been in a position where my overspending has sort of been a problem for me. It has limited me sometimes, but most of the time it's just been like, oh, I'll just go down one policy. Like the Union blockade and things like that does not really impact me in the slightest. So for the viewer who wanted Stand Wacky, I do apologise, but I tried. But then again, it is a little bit temperamental, the military roster. So fingers crossed, maybe next time we can get this bad boy up and running. So Beauregard is used ultimatum. So this is again getting ready for the Civil War. And then with Fort Sumter surrendering, we should end up kicking off into the American Civil War. They've changed the engine, I think, or they've modified the engine so it runs a lot better as well. So if anyone who's had any issues with running it in terms of frame rate, it should be a bit better now as well. The Civil War, further southern states secede, and volunteers flood City Hall. So immediately we pause and we begin to assess the situation. So if you're new to the game, you start with 2 armies over here, the Army of Shenandoah and the Army of the Potomac. Down here you have Hampton's division, which is nice to have as a backup. Sometimes you'll be a bit forgetful, but it's not that big a deal. So we're going to build a depot here immediately to have a nice supply line, and we are going over to this part. So you have the Army of Tennessee located down in Tennessee, funnily enough. And this will be our army we build up to move into Kentucky. Over here, this is the most important part, especially early game, is the Missouri State Guard. Now these guys start off very low, with low readiness, but their saving grace is they're close to the capture point you need to get them to secede. So if you can just upgrade the depots and upgrade and increase the manpower for this army, you can push out the Department of the West and get Missouri to secede. It gives you a big buffer zone, a massive buffer zone for the to hold the Union invasion. You don't want to be campaigning down here. It's a logistical hellhole. Too many forests. So if you can hold the north and hold this tip, you're not going to have too bad a time. So let's look at the Missouri State Guard, if we can. Come on now. Oh yeah, let's go to you. This is our first bug. No, it's fine. So the Missouri State Guard is this fellow under Price. I normally keep Price. He's never that bad a fellow. And with the new easy recruitment, I tend to build 3 or 4 cavalry corps, 4 infantry, and 3 horse artillery. Oh yeah, I've got to make sure this doesn't meme me. There we go. And now I just quick add and build them up like so. So you end up with lots of cannons, lots of cavalry, and a pretty healthy starting army for the west. Whoa, what's this? There we go. There we go. I'm gonna change up my army build a little bit. I'm gonna have larger but less divisions. I don't want to. I want my army to be rather compact with a centralized chain of command, because sometimes I do get a lot of delay early on in terms of my orders getting through. Quick upgrade, and these guys should now be equipped with Springfield muskets, which we want to have. And that should be building up. So as time goes on, the army will get bigger. It's currently on low readiness, but fortunately I'm already building this and I'm upgrading my supply lines down here, which I need to do so that's supplied enough to advance into St. Louis. Then the Army of the Tennessee, which is going to be a rather small army. I don't intend it to be too big. Where's the Army of the Tennessee? There it is. I don't intend you to be too big a boy, and I'm not going to equip it too well either. So I want 8 of these fellows. Let's see if I can get 8. Of course, I can't just spam troops. It may look it to the eyes, but if you actually add a unit manually, you see how many volunteers you have, and that is restricted by your population and who actually wants to join the war. Eventually, once I get conscription, it's not too big an issue, but until then, you're always sort of on the back foot in terms of manpower, especially as the Confederacy. So that got me 8 boys, which isn't too bad. And I'm going to add another boy here. Oh, I can't. See, already that's that's one of the big problems, is the manpower for the Union. So for the Confederacy, which I'm already lacking as we speak. This is where you've got to do some clever logistics. No, cancel. And now clever logistics is transferring armies. So here's all your armies on the right. So you've got South Carolina militia. They're not needed here. They're a complete waste of time. So what we do is we go to the South Carolina militia. And well, first we go to the Army of the Northwest. That's the Northwest. It's a dead army. And we're going to transfer our troops to a different army. So I'm going to transfer them to Northampton's Division, not Missouri State Guard, the Army of Shenandoah. And that way, I move troops to a relevant front, consolidate my forces, and increase the rather limited supply of manpower I have. And that's done. So our Western Army is now done, it can be closed down. And then South Carolina State Militia, we're going to transfer those troops over to the Army of the Potomac. Also, what I'm doing here is I'm creating new groups. So if I didn't build these groups, all these units would be under the general, which in terms of actual command and control on the battlefield is useless, because a troop what's like 5 kilometers away from the general or on the other side of the battle map will be won't get orders for basically ages, meaning that it's very difficult to actually have an army or have an effective fighting army if I have all centralized under one man. So we have our Army of the Potomac, that's almost done. Let's transfer you over, and let's go to you. Okay, And let's see if there's any other spare troops I can use. Army of the Northwest, transfer you. That will leave me with, hopefully that's 4 main armies, or 3 main armies. The Missouri State Guard, the Army of the Shenandoah, Army of the Potomac, Army of Tennessee, and that should be that. There shouldn't be any more. And all of these are just forts. Hampton's division, I am going to transfer troops out of Hampton's division because I just want to use it as an engineer division to build forts and defences around Richmond. Don't really want it for anything else. So my eastern armies aren't going to be too good right now. They're going to be pretty pants, but needs must. Oh, whoa, I need one guy left. I need 1 infantry division left. Oh, there you go. And that is that. Now we have our nice consolidated army. Hampton's division, Missouri State Guard, the Army of Shenandoah, Army of Potomac, Fort Norfolk Garrison. I don't know why that's there. Why that's showing and none of the other garrisons are showing, and the Army of Tennessee. So now that we've done the early phase, or the early build-up, we can now save the game. Of course, I'm a creature of habit, so what I know works, I'll keep doing it, and so this army structure I tend to do because it just always works. I know all my forces are going to join the battle at one time. It means I get less campaign control. That means I have less control of the campaign map because I don't have the core system in place. But it means that when I do join a battle, I'll at least have temporary superiority in terms of numbers. So the Army of Shenandoah, let's upgrade weapons. Things you can do, for example, you can upgrade weapons. Army of the Potomac upgrade, and things like industry and trade and diplomacy will affect the weapons you get. Okay, they've attacked and they've fled, so they tried to stamp me out, and the Union troops are already leaving that area. I was a bit worried for a second, but fortunately for me, they've already been pushed back. There's only 1,200 of them, so I suspect they just try to get rid of me. Because of the readiness system, I can only fight defensively until I'm ready to engage, which is problematic. Over here, we're going to build up our supplies, so we have a nice supply line. You need supplies with these new updates. If you just try and march up north, you'll starve and your troops will fall apart, which you really can't afford. Going to build some supply depots over here as well, and move this army north to hold this supply depot. So all our funding is going to go into recruitment right now, but again, economics isn't that difficult. You just think your way out of debt. Let's print money, bro. That won't cause any problems. Because it's got low readiness now, because I've made such a large army, I won't be able to advance in Kentucky anytime soon. Equally, I won't be able to advance here because of the low readiness until I'm, say, on amber. But it's not that bad because the AI plays by the same rules. I highly recommend you do upgrade the supply depot as soon as possible, because if you don't, you're going to be in a world of pain. And this army is going to be unsupplied. So the AI has already taken the battle to me. The Department of Pennsylvania versus the Army of Shenandoah. 2,600 men versus 5,000. Let's play that battle. I could retreat. I could withdraw. But on such a small scale, I don't think it's to be that bad, especially because it's the start of the war. Okay, Alexander's division, the Army of Shenandoah. Let's get off you. So my army is going to be completely ragtag. It's going to be a combination of hastily created recruits and volunteers. So this is going to be a complete disaster of a force. But I'm hoping the same is going to be said for the Union. So where's the Union coming from? It's coming straight from the north. So I'm going to try and hold the river. And I'm going to have to get my cavalry off its horses. Really, we're not on a good. We shouldn't be fighting this battle. I should have withdrawn. But hey ho, it is what it is. Build some defenses. See if I can build a parapet as well. Oh, I've run out. Maybe. No, I've run out of build, so no, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. And then we're going to build another breastworks here. I'm going to play full defensive. I'm going to move one cannon to hold this line. I'm going to send the cavalry off over here. And already there's problems within the command. Why? Why is there problems within the command? Alexander. So this little mark is feuding, meaning that the commanders either don't respect your divisional commanders or their bosses, and they are likely to do their own thing and refuse orders. And this little blue line will indicate where the enemy is coming from. So what I'm anticipating here is that they're just going to march all the way through Winchester and try and move to secure the first or closest capture point. That's what I'm hoping for. So I've set up behind the lines in the hope that once they try and move forward, I will and try and cross these rivers, I'll be able to hit them hard with these troops. However, my army is not best built as of yet. This is just a stopgap measure. Once I've taken Missouri, I'll start transferring troops out of Missouri State Guard and moving them back to the east, where most of the battles will be fought. Have you built it? Yes, you have. So I'm hoping Jackson holds holds against 5,000 men. Otherwise, we're gonna have a bad time, and I may have to withdraw the armies or withdraw this army. And now we play the waiting game. There we are. Yeah, I thought as much. They're just gonna march straight down. What sort of guns do we have? Howitzers, not bad. And that is a healthy army they're bringing up, which I'm not a fan of. Okay. So first engagement with Thomas's detachment, okay. I think we're going to be alright for now. It's all I'm worried about is if they do a mash push. It's still early days in the engagement. First, move forward. Does not give me a warm fuzzy feeling, but I'm going to come up with a devious plan. With this garbage cavalry, I'm going to hopefully try and get around. Don't charge, please. Moving to counter me, interesting. I'm going to need you to be a bit quicker here, because if you get engaged, you're going to get wiped out. I'm trying to bring the cannons into point blank. Don't know what Alexander is doing. But apparently Alexander's just charging and rallying the men. Maybe he's a hero. Hopefully he is. You're a goddamn hero, son. Oh god, that's a bit too close. Come on, you can grape shoot from there. Oh, it's a howitzer. Oof. Yeah, where are you going, Alexander? I think Alexander's got a little bit buggy. He's running over here because this is the sort of the middle ground between my two divisions, and so the AI logic is okay. I need to be as in the middle as possible, so everyone gets an equal amount of orders. And of course, this is sort of in the middle, so he's just ran through the entire Union army, so he can be in the middle. So early impressions of the AI, it's still a work in progress, even on such a small scale. What's happened here? So Alexander just ran through. They're now in a constant state of going into melee. I don't know why. I think they still think that that Alexander's still there, so they're trying to stab the commander, and I'm just shooting them point blank into their side. Oh, shit. I wasn't paying attention there. I do like how the AI did protect his artillery. Like it moved to counter the cavalry flank. Come on, fire. You can fire. I guess not. Let's call for retreat. So what was that? That was not a good impression. So don't rate this game by its first battle. There are moments where you do see something like this, and you question the quality, but it does have its moments. $1,900, so actually one of the few times I've taken more casualties than the enemy. It's a minor issue, I can fix it. It's not a problem, comrade. So this is the Bulls run where we lose, basically. Hopefully, you don't get destroyed. This army's got 5,000 in it. I'm going to move this army to counter. And I'm going to see if I can build up the army to Potomac some more. Come on, give me more men. Yes, thank fuck. This ain't good, but it's not bad either, I suppose. As long as that army stays up there, I can come and counter it. And this army's going to get stronger as time goes on, so again, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, there's also Wilmington, the Union. Don't worry about the naval aspect. It's unless you're the Union, you ain't going to be doing too many naval battles. 6,000, 5,000. Now this is a better number. The army to Shenandoah can move over to be a delaying arm over there. Although I'm a bit concerned how small the army to Shenandoah is. That's my own doing. I've got no men for it. Okay, there we go. Advance! And we're going to counterattack with... I'm not going to say that. Coke. I'm going to counterattack with cock. And here's the reinforced mechanics. So yeah, this is all part of my ingenious plan to show you all the different mechanics. So imagine this was a corps. It's not part of the main army, but it's near enough to the battle that I'll be able to march to it within a couple of days. This means that you'll fight the main battle, and as the day goes on, you may get a reinforcing corps. Now, this means that you could be heavily outnumbered, but because the enemy is not fully reinforced all in one go, you can win the battle on the first day and then and still achieve victory. But it also means that when the AI does it, they'll often not bring all their corps within this range, and it will mean that they don't join the battle and they get rather badly smashed. Still, we are not too bad with this army. Also, another thing I should point out is that before, when I initially was streaming this, I would always have to save before battle because I was sure some bug was going to soft lock me. Now, however, I can normally play rather comfortably. Hello, Hoffman. Welcome back. We're going to continue on the Confederate campaign and trying out the new AI. Already, the first battle has been a little bit underwhelming, a little bit of pathfinding issues, things like that, but you can't judge the game by one battle. And this is going to be more of a better test of its abilities. Now, this is a much more healthier force, much more healthier. We've actually got divisions that can be used for the battle. We also got a reinforcing 2,000 men army as well. So this is Sharpsburg. We need to advance up, take these capture points. Now you can turn the capture points off, but then there comes a massive camp fest. The AI is sort of programmed to advance to take objectives. Where are the army of 150k then? Oh, it's early days. I've got to get the manpower up first. Sadly, it's not the. I was telling other viewers before he came in about the earlier patches where the enemy army or the enemy nation, whether it be Union or Confederacy, used to recruit from European manpower pools, which meant you'd have these massive armies, about 200,000 men in 1942. It was insane. But that's been tempered back a bit. Actually, I'm feeling a bit of the pain now in terms of manpower, especially as the Confederacy. Like you can tell, it's like with the small sizes of some of the armies. Springfield musket. Okay, they're not too badly equipped. Springfield muskets is sort of your bog standard muskets. You don't want mixed muskets. Mixed muskets are not designed for very well. So already engaged with the enemy. Let's take a look. Bring the artillery forward. To engage here. And where is these guys going? Yeah, just leave them there. That'll be fine. And looks like they're defending Sharpsburg. I don't want to cancel the order. because cancelling orders means you've got to send a messenger out to tell them to stop doing what they're doing, which is never a good thing, because then you've got to send them another messenger out telling them to do something else. So you altogether got to send them 2 messengers, which is not good. This is good because I've actually flanked them. They'll probably withdraw. What on earth are you doing, you madman? You know what? You know what, Rosser? You can do what you like. We'll move to engage. And we'll see if this new AI logic... Yeah. What put me off Scourge of War is how old it is. So that's why I haven't played it. But yeah, it gives me... Definitely, I like the old delays. Let's see if the... Let's see if the new AI logic will force it to turn to counter my flank, according to the new update. Yeah, sometimes the officers have a low initiative, if you know what I mean. Let's see what initiative this guy has. Well, apparently he's got a venturous initiative. So instead of doing the intelligent thing and, I don't know, stopping, he has decided to go right into the town of Sharpsburg. So this is where we find out if the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, let me allow that. And I think this guy's going to do the same as well. So here's a little hot tip for you. Spacebar is the quick key for order delay. So if you do need to know that, otherwise you'll be freaking out going, shit, what do I do? I don't want to put this any closer. They're just going to get smashed with canister shot, which is not good. Move up over here. You know what? Just do whatever you like. Do whatever you like, AI. You want to march through Sharpsburg, you march through Sharpsburg. So have they moved to counter? Not really, no. Not yet, anyway, but again, it's early days. Hampton's just there to take canister shot. Sorry, Hampton, but your men are literally just there to eat canister shot. I can tell you to lie down, can't I? Yeah, here's a little order you can do to tell them to lie down. So if you tell them to lie down, where is it? It means they'll take less damage from canister shot. It also means they can't fire as much, but it's a good little thing to have, especially if you're being hit with a cannon. So I've really just completely challenged this flank right now. This entire flank is up in the air. This cannon is completely vulnerable to an advancing, 3 advancing Confederate brigades. What is the AI going to do about it? Is it going to try and withdraw, which would be the more intelligent thing, withdraw and try and fight off the flank? Is it going to try and counterattack? What is it going to try and do? I'm going to charge them into the forest, into the fence line where you get cover. No one likes my divisional commanders. I'll see if they play up. If they play up too much, then I'll have to make a change of command. So there's a little horsey messenger. Every order you send is a messenger. And sometimes they can go very funny ways of pathfinding to move. I've had one case where I've had one messenger march through an entire Union army just to march around and give an order. He's a very brave officer. He was a good friend. But I was playing a bit of War of Rights, and I think what they hope or what they envision is to have such large maps that you need messengers. And I'd love to be a messenger in War of Rights on a horse, just delivering messages from one commander to another. No, as long as I get a revolver. If I get a revolver, then I'm happy. This looks healthier. Like, this has been a slight bend and they are withdrawing a little bit. This does look like a healthier attempt to counter the flank. They have condensed. Plus, it won't happen immediately because with the order process, but it does look a lot. It looks like they've attempted to do something about it. Let's move into the town of Sharpsburg. Let's hope you don't live in Sharpsburg, boys. Yeah, and see how he's stopped responding to the order? It'd be quite easy to say, oh, that's because the AI's bug got broken. Or the AI is not doing what it's supposed to. But because that feud system, the reason why he stopped following the order to move to here is because the officer in charge has just gone, I'm not going to follow the order. So you understand that sometimes when you're giving orders and people aren't listening, it's not the game. Well, it is the game, but it's not because it's broken. It's because it's a feature. You know, it's a feature. How many people? I don't know how many people were made messengers of the standard corps. But I do find it to be quite romantic, the idea that like go on a horse by yourself, delivering orders. Especially I've got a revolver. I have a thing for Civil War revolvers. I just love them so much. But I think what they'll do in War of Rights is they'll make sure the messengers don't get revolvers, because I can just see people picking messengers just for the revolver. Yeah, exactly. There's so many things that can affect why an officer won't respond or listen to orders. It could be because the officer was disgraced in a previous battle and embarrassed himself. It's because he's not very famous, which this guy's not. It could be just his leadership's not very good. Or it could be the guy under him is just a god and he's a bit upset that he hasn't been given a position. So he's got legendary fame, he's venturous, he's inspiring, he's a skilled... Yeah, so the reason why he's so upset is because he sees himself, or he is statistically better than his commander. Now this can be a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes, just because the officers aren't listening and doing their own thing doesn't mean that the battle's going to go horribly wrong. The officer may do something quite intelligent, but it just means that's that extra random factor in the battle. And sometimes at a key moment, like if you're trying to hold a point, or if you're, within an hour away of collapsing, and you need orders to be done, it could be that decisive moment where the officer just refuses, things go horribly wrong. This was a pretty limited, small-scale engagement again. It's only 6,000 men, but this is a pretty easy victory with a two-pronged push on Sharpsburg. See, he's just done it like this. He sent out his own detachment of men into the town. I didn't give him that order. He did that himself. And in this case, it hasn't gone wrong. He's picking guys off, and it's actually probably been to my benefit. But in other cases, it could mean the difference between success and disaster. Again, this guy sent out his own detachment. and it was a rather easy victory. They took a lot more losses than I did. However, if you don't like the feud mechanic, you can again turn it off, but it's the way the game should be played. If you don't, it's not like an RTS where everything works as intended. Yeah, it's a one of a kind game. I mean, you could say it is a lot like Scourge of War, but it is a unique game, and although it doesn't have the graphics of say of Total War, it has the depth in spades, and they're just adding more and more to it. But I think a lot of people are put off by the AI, as you've got to RP it a little bit in some cases, but and just accept the facts. It's still, I know early access is a cop out, but I've still had quite enjoyable battles. I mean, AI aside, I'm going to check now how many hours of this game have I got. 123 hours. I've played 123 hours. I think I've played more hours of this than I have of Total War, Warhammer Total War. 123 hours of playing this, either Confederacy or Union. Because it doesn't get boring. Even though the maps are big, sometimes you'll be fighting on different parts of the battle. Different parts of the same map, and you'll be fighting, and the battle will always be a bit different. So we've pushed that Union army out. I'm going to leave the army of Shenandoah here, and I'm going to hopefully upgrade it. It's only got 800 men currently in command, but I need more men. It's just that simple. I need more men. And I can't recruit them because I don't have any manpower. So this is why we're going to head down to the Military Act 2. And then Military Act 3, and then eventually conscription, because you need it as Confederacy. Mm. 269, that's a lot of playtime, but I can't really complain because I've got like 1,200 hours in Hoi 4, so we're still not ready to march up yet. Readiness wise, readiness affects your ability to do anything, so if you've got low readiness, you'll be defensive, you won't be able to go to the aggressive stance. Middly low readiness, I think you still build stuff, but again you can't really go aggressive, and you can't move in enemy territory. And then this sort of readiness, you can start doing offensive actions. What army is this? Oh, it's a Fort Smith garrison. The big thing you need to do is build a lot of depots here and upgrade them to keep this army supplied when you eventually do move in to push these guys out. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad. They keep on moving to push me out, which is not good. And I'm hoping that the new supply will save me a little bit. No. No supply, abysmal, poor. He's going to have to withdraw south, which is an absolute pain in my ass. I need him to retake this. If he doesn't, we're in a bad spot. Come on, retake it. There we go. And supplies back up. Okay, supplies back up. Hopefully they'll be fully supplied now and they won't die. but their condition's still really bad. I think I'm going to get pushed out of Missouri. Well, that's okay, because we're going to take Kentucky instead. Now I got to do new policy. Yeah, I knew it was a risk because they start really low on supply, but I had to do something about it. I had hoped that the Union would be passive and they wouldn't advance, but sadly not. Because I've had the new Militia Act, I can recruit more men. This gives me up to a silky smooth 30,000 men, which I need on the east. And this is 17,000. I'm going to leave 17,000 men. I don't need a lot of men there. So this is where our next battle is going to be. And if you fail, I'm going to replace you. Come on, don't starve. Condition deteriorated, that's better. Oh no, we're still getting pushed back. So I think Missouri's a lost cause now. They've taken off supply lines, my army's in a complete shit state. They're just going to slowly start starving. So I should be withdrawing them back. So either I should withdraw them back down to Arkansas or down to Tennessee. And I think I'm going to withdraw them back down to Tennessee. So you have a rather undecisive campaign. The army's too big, the campaigning area is garbage. I've just got to get rid of them. Get rid of them. Actually, I'm going to push them down to Little Rock. So they'll hold the left side. And with Little Rock here, I'll set up a little supply line. How's things on the rest of the fronts? Not bad. I've got to make sure I've upgraded the Army of Potomac. There we go, now manpower is no longer that much of an issue. But things aren't good in Missouri, which is going to be a nightmare. And they're going to slowly take a lot of attrition here as well, because they've got no food, no supply. It's not good, comrades. But once we get Kentucky, we'll be alright. There you go, so Kentucky's on our side, and that'll be our buffer. Kentucky basically acts as our buffer to prevent anything too badly going wrong. Yeah, 12,000 disabled casualties. Disabled doesn't mean dead, it just means they won't be able to join the battle. So it's time to replace Sterling Price, who's basically got 24,000 men starved to death. This is not good. Not good. Nope. I'm going to have to send the cavalry out. I don't have any cavalry. Can't, because they've got no readiness, so that's a complete disaster army. I wonder if there's any supply depots near here I can use. Yes. So the Missouri State Guard is going to move over to the Fort Smith garrison. And Sterling Price, you're getting replaced. Who to replace you with? I'm not going to say, I'm going to say Lee. Sibley, why not? Oh, now it's going to be worse. Come on, give me someone good. Someone I know. Evans. You look like the sole person for the Missouri Army. Yeah, I like that. It also means the AI doesn't get completely smashed after a battle. It means that it can rebuild from its casualties. But this was an army of 27,000 men. Now it's an army of nothing. This is why you should be building up supply lines behind you. And you can't really afford to lose, because if you do, you're in a bad spot. I mean, you can build armies down south and things like that, but it's not really what you want to do. A complete disaster, Missouri. I'm going to try and play defensive, because I want to see some new maps. I might actually lose playing defensively. Normally I should be moving straight into Washington now. So he's just going to stay here now and rebuild what's left of his dwindling disabled force. And once they're alive, so to speak, we'll move back up. Probably up to Memphis, where we'll build a depot and turn that into our defensive line. I think I'm going to leave Arkansas as a dead state. Unless I'm forced to, unless they try and maneuver through Arkansas to take out Vicksburg, which hopefully they don't. But I can't stress enough, you do need supply lines. Like the new readiness mechanic has meant, and the new logistics mechanic has meant that you cannot do offensive, like it's slow down offensive actions. If you just yeet all your way up to Washington, you'll starve, and then you'll probably lose your army. And depending on how reckless you want to be, you can then build forts and around the supply depots and things like that. But I normally do it, but this time I think I won't bother. There's our supply depot. We upgrade it immediately, and this will stop our armies from starving. Could move into Washington. Could do it. But no, I said I'd play defensively, didn't I? Yeah, we're going to play defensively. I'm going to see what this AI brings to the table. Let's see how big it kicks the bucket. How much of a big oof it does. I would like, as a quality of life, the ability to build supply depots without having to have an army run march over there. Stop. Go away. Stop. No. There you go, thank you. No. If I click you. Oh, you're a complete pain in my ass, aren't you? I guess you're going to be alive. Oh, you're gone now, thank God. I'm going to kick out this army of Pennsylvania. Can I kick out this army of Pennsylvania? Is there a bug going on? No, okay. $20,000 men. And this will be our little playground, Kentucky. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys and girls. And that's work. Always work. Work, work, work. Can't go 5 seconds without someone calling you up, asking for something. I think WhatsApp is probably the worst invention ever. People think, oh, I can get in contact with your friends. No, it's so your boss can pester you and be like, can you do this in your own time? It's like, no, I don't want to do this. I just want to play video games. Yeah. WhatsApp is the grand conspiracy from the big business to make you work even when you're at home. Same reason why I don't like the idea of working from home is it starts out as a noble concept. Oh, yeah, you can work from home. I just wiped out the Army of Pennsylvania. Okay, I can live with that. And then it'll be, well, because you've got a laptop there, you're going to be still doing your job anyway. Yeah, because the army was so small when my army of 20,000 marched in. Also, I suspect they weren't particularly well equipped when they marched into Kentucky. There we go, another supply depot. And then we're going to be a bit of a nuisance over here. Just a little bit of a nuisance, nothing too bad. This is not good. 25,000 men, that's not usable. And see what the Union's doing, it's slowly building up its force over here. This has changed the dynamic quite significantly. They are going to be moving down to counter me. They might even just go round Kentucky, that's bad. This is not good, yeah? Can I build another army? That's the question. Yes. Yes, I can. Alright. Trying to build an impromptu army at Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, it's going to be the core system, isn't it? Oh, I hate the core system. Whoa, Price. Not having you here, son. I'm going to have Jackson in charge. Well done, Jackson. You're now a leader of an army. Yeah, let's get rid of you. Okay. Some cannons. Oh, this is good. That's good, yeah. I would like to make some cavalry as well. Nice. A rather well-equipped army. Actually, yeah, you actually are well-equipped. That's good. How big is this army? 40,000 men. That's a big old army. Where are you? That's the question. Army of West Tennessee. You're going to move immediately to the town of Jackson. Jackson, eh? Jackson. Now this is where you're starting to see a little bit of the core system with the new armies. So here you have the commander, and then you have this core. But I'm a bit confused because that's not working. Let's re-change that army up a little bit. Alright, but now we're going to do a core system. I'm going to keep that artillery with the commander. This can go. New policy, conscription. With conscription we can go down into economics. How are you doing, old boy? I'm getting some UI glitches now when I click on armies and not registering, which is a bit of a nuisance, but hey ho. Yeah, look at that. Not good. Okay, you're slowly coming back. You're 8,000 strong, that's good. So in theory, you'd have a different cause, you'd send around the states, but it doesn't really, it's not the most optimum way of playing. And for some strange reason, my army's bugged. My control's bugged now. So what do I mean by control bugged? It basically means my left click is no longer functioning. I've got to click like this, and then once I click like this, I can get him to do stuff. Hopefully a battle will fix that. Let's see, shall we? Army of Tennessee, 20,000 versus 17,000. You've got no supply. I can't have a fight. Yeah, ready for another battles. something along those lines. The key problem is that because I'm advancing so quickly and because I've got such large armies, it's taking ages to get supply up. Look, my condition's abysmal. I'm blind. It's not good. I should really have moved down here, put another supply depot, and then moved forward, but I didn't. So, you got to go slow. You got to go reverse Sanic. And that's why the Union campaign is such a pain in the ass, is that for most of the war, it'll be you slowly moving down and putting depots, like they did historically. Yeah, the Army of Ohio is moving into Kansas, I don't care. I've got the Army of Tennessee, that'll counter, hopefully. Not the Army of Tennessee. God damn it. I've got a Missouri State Guard. Hopefully by the time it gets to me, I'll actually have an army. But, hey-ho. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking going Napoleon, you see. Heads Corps. None of you guys are ready. Oh, pain in my asses. I'm gonna need you guys to be ready to build depots, because if you don't build depots, we will starve. Okay, you know what? You know what? You do you. You do you, Jackson. I've got full faith in your command ability. Time to start printing money. Army of the Potomac. Army of Tennessee. I've got to do this now because the bug, I think I've clicked something, so now I can no longer click directly, which is not good. Yes, and that should save me. Now here's the problem. Because I can't click directly, I can't get my fucking supply up. I can't upgrade it. You know what, I'll see if I can have a battle and get out of it. Alright, who can have a battle? Who are you? 22,000 strong. 28,000 strong. Okay, I have full faith in your abilities. Let's do this. Alright, I saved Scumness in case I lose. Let's do this. Advance into Washington. Please? Please advance into Washington. I beg you. Come on, do it. What's going on here? Alright, so looks like something got broken. I need to load. I need to reload. I can't even quit. The game won't let me quit. Yeah, something's gone wrong with the game. Time to close the game and reopen. I've lost the ability to give commands. They've relieved me of my command. And we're back in. We should be back in. Yeah, we are. Now, game, you better not have softlocked me. I'll be pretty fucking pissed. There we are. So, alright, let's find out. Yes, you're back in the game. Alright, let's advance. this can work both ways. I can move up here and hopefully attract Union attention away from the west. I know I said I wouldn't be aggressive, but I need to be aggressive here so I can move the Union. I can move the Union away from the west where I'm weakest. How are you guys doing supply-wise? You're not dying, are you? Good. That would be rather upsetting if you were. Holy fuck, Missouri State. God, it's fucked. Looks like the contracts ended for the Missouri State Guard. So if you have volunteers, volunteers will have 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts, 3-year contracts. So once they join and once the contract ends, but although it's September though, so it's a bit iffy. But once the contract ends, they'll go away. Alternatively, the units are just collapsed and they're just banded. We need a Western McClellan to save the day. There we are. So what's happened here? Okay, so there's 3 armies. So the Army of Northeastern Virginia, 16,000 strong, versus the Army of the Potomac, which is moving up on the left. And then there's 2 armies over here, which are holding Washington. Also, a thing I do want to point out is each scenario, or you can pick from different time periods. Let's say if you pick in, let's say 1863, that's period to play the campaign. There's going to be forts everywhere, especially in Washington. You can have forts out the arse, and so it's a very difficult game to play. But I normally play the 1861 start because I find it the most enjoyable. The ability to build your armies and pick your strategies. So this is Sharpsburg. Looks like I have most of the capture points, even though I'm the one attacking. Let's take a look at capture points. Yep, I have both capture points. So I can just hold here, and just hold behind the Potomac River. Oof, that's going to be not a pleasant game. That's not going to be pleasant for you guys, is it? Yeah, I got some bad news for you, Union. You're going to have a bad time. I'm straight up not having a good time. And where's the Union coming from? That's the next thing I need to worry about. Up there. Oh, okay, it's going to take a day if they actually want to do anything. Ruh-roh, Raggy. I'm straight up not having a good time. Sometimes got me feeling so lonely. There we go. I hope they do push here. It would make me a happy man. I would be a happy man. Oh, and there's one random corps. You can just plonk yourself in the middle and be a reserve. Actually, who do you belong to? Oh, you belong to this army. Question, like in your situation of your battle, take 2 to 3 days, while the other crossing army wait for engaging in the battle of the other enemy army. You may need to explain that a little bit more for me, if that's all right. So, oh, I get it. So if it's taking 2 to 3 days of me fighting, and what is the other army doing on the campaign map? I think it's not doing anything, if I'm honest. I don't think it does anything. I think it will stay in time, which is a little bit of a continuity error, but it'd be so difficult to get it to work. What? What's going on? And you can be my reserve force. Who do you belong to? You don't belong to anyone. Beauregard's division. Oh, he's just a one-man army. You can plonk yourself here and be in reserve. Yeah, no, I don't think anything. I don't think it changes. I'd have to check, but yeah, I think things stop. So because of the capture points, because I have the advantage in this level or in this battle, the AI will be forced to cross in order to win. This means that it means that I'm at an advantage, but sometimes I'd be technically at a disadvantage if I in other maps. But it also means that you don't have ages of waiting. I've had games when I've accidentally had the command the victory points turned off, and you won't see the Union army for ages because it doesn't know where to go. It'll just wander around aimlessly, and it'll take you like 4 days before you actually come across the Union army. At that stage, you're bored, and you're like, Jesus, why won't this end? So what would be the smart thing for the AI to do in this scenario? The smart thing for it to do would, again, march down, see where I am, and then try and outmaneuver me. Like, fall back up, cross over here, or cross down here. I don't think they can cross down here. So the smart thing to do would be like, okay, if I cross here, I'm going to take excessive casualties. I'm just going to retreat and cross over up here. However, the not particularly smart thing to do would be to frontally charge. So we will see how that plays out. Tell everyone to fire at long range. And still not a lot of people happy with my commanders. Yeah, I think these are the only 2 crossing points. I'd understand why it would try and push across. Maybe if it's got a very large force, it'd try and brute force its way across. But when you're equal forces, it should either withdraw or it should try and flank. But we shall see. Maybe they'll put all the blunt of their army on one flank and try and break through that way. Now, what I don't want to see is the AI just like splitting its armies and trying to cross in detail. Just checking to see what crossing points there are. Yeah. Yep, that's good. Good old Potomac, gonna save the day, aren't you? So now we wait. So, what games are everyone looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Aliens Fireteam. Eventually, when it comes out, that Starship Troopers game, which is basically the Last of Us. No, it's not the Last of Us. It's they are billions, but in the Starship Troopers universe. And looking for the new DLC for Hoi 4. Hopefully that will change the meta, but I suspect this is going to double down on it. Especially if you can delete railways. If you can delete railways with the new DLC, I just see a Stalin line on steroids. Like I can just see lines and lines of them. Just like a barren wasteland of supply before you get to the Stalin line. I suspect they'll put rules in the multiplayer to say you can't delete supply lines. Yeah. Oh, fingers crossed it's good. Fingers crossed. It will change up the multiplayer, make it more interesting, make it more dynamic rather than being stale. But with games like that, with like statistics and that, everyone will always find the most meta, the most optimum build. So what they'll need to do is make sure it is almost like a rock paper scissors game when it comes to building tanks. So you can't have a tank that is good at everything. You can either have a tank that's slow and well armored, or you're gonna have to have a tank that's fast and high damage. A slow armored tank with low damage, or a fast tank with lots of damage that's weak. But if you can build this godly tank before the war, then it's just gonna be a cookie cutter build. Okay, what have we got here? We have crossing. Yeah, the AI is dumb as hell. Like, they have made mods to fix it, and I've just noticed a glaring oversight. Yeah, what the AI does, it'll just spam troops. It will just and it doesn't understand its own supply rules, so it will literally starve itself to death with hordes of troops with no supply. It just does not understand supply. So I'm hoping that these don't work because I did not spot them. Because they're not on the map. But if they do work, we're in for a treat. Yeah, they spam troops, and it makes it impossible to actually do anything in the game. Because your own, like, if you're trying to D-Day as the Americans, you'll land, it's like, oh, we've broken through, but we can't push anymore. Why? Because the bloody Australians have eaten all the fucking food. I'm going to have to redirect the artillery to some counter battery. It is. The D-Days are awful, and in multiplayer they're even worse. Like it, and because the meta is org walling Normandy, you just need to put everything into getting to D-Day. So if you're playing the Allies, you just do nothing but plan for D-Day, which means that you lose out on the Pacific Theatre, the Italy player, the Japan player loses out, and it also means that really the North Africa isn't that big a deal. You can just ignore North Africa if you want. So it stops being a strategy game and this being more of a D-Day simulator for the Allies. But normally at that stage, the Allies are so demoralised they just give up. So many games. The most fun you get is playing as the Soviets or playing as an Axis player, because the Allies I've had so many bad experiences because it's such a you got to micro and you got to meta so intensively. And if one guy's not doing his job, it can mean losing North Africa. If one guy's not air controlling, it means you've lost D-Day. Are you crossing this river? You are. That's not good. X-ray, yeah. I know the feeling. I've played. There's this game called Strategic Command World War One, and that is hours and hours of hexes. And because it's World War One, you don't have any decisive pushes. It's literally you replen your men for one turn. That's 1 year. Strategic Command World War One. Oh god, a bit of crisp's gone down my throat. So yeah, Strategic Command World War One. It's a slow game. Really fun, but a slow game. Or Strategic Command, something like that. They are crossing, that's not good. And get these men to lie down. No. Yeah, fair one. So everyone's doing the same thing at the same turn. That's a fair one. Not really the slaughter I had aimed for, if I'm honest. I'm just going to have to hope that Edward L. Thomas can hold the line. And I'm leaving one unit just to guard this bridge. And I like how they got the cannons in the middle of the river just firing. Yep. They're actually submarines. What's going on here? And of course the messengers are deciding to go in front of the Confederate lines to send orders. Like, should we go behind, sir? No. We must deliver the orders in front of the Confederacy. I suspect those orders will be to form a line, fight back, but until they get there, I'm in a good position. They come out of the trees! The goddamn trees! Whoa, those bodies disappearing. I don't think we can have that. No, yes they are. I don't think I can change it. Oh well. You're not doing too well here, are you? Union. Oh, the cavalry surrendered. They aiming to cross, are they? Those mixed muskets aren't doing too badly. Yeah, gonna try and cross. It's too late now, they've lost element of surprise. Now they're gonna get mowed down. Stand by. I don't envy these guys. This is awful. This is not pleasant. I almost feel bad for them. How's the rest of the army moving? Is it almost there? Yeah, it's moving over. That's good. Oh shit. They're all lying down, aren't they? Couldn't see because of the fucking trees. Jones, stop refusing orders. Face the right way. Jones, what are you doing? You're getting sacked, Jones. The chaos because of Jones's bloody rebellious attitude. I like, even though it falls down on graphic, but it needs to for the scale of the battles. I like the soundtrack and the music they add. It really does give it that good setting. It gives it the heart. Like it's almost, I don't know how to put it. It's not iconic. It's always set piece, you know, the frontal charge across the river with the what was it, battle hymn of freedom, something like that. Battle cry of freedom. Pull back. Do as I tell you. Okay, move to counter. The problem is the trees are so thick you can't actually see through. I never could work out whether or not they've been able to actually cross, or because the way the formation has been caused, see whether the Union AI has been able to glitch their way across the river. I don't think they have, because there's a river, those pontoons nearby. But it was the way the Union army was angled. It initially was facing like this way, so I had thought that maybe the Union had bugged its way across the river this way and ignored the pathing. But I'm not sure. Still, Edward L. Thomas is doing God's work. And the cannons are now kicking in as well. Let's go back to 10 speed. Let's see what these guys do. Yeah, so these guys have just gone to combat, so they're just telling me that they're in combat. Oh, they surrendered again. I don't blame them. They're across the river, they can't get back across. Let's get this artillery piece now. Charge, Thomas, charge. You may want to fire at long range, Thomas. Or you can charge. You can literally just charge. Yeah, I think it's bugged. Not the end of the world, but still. It's literally the Union's walking on water. It's a miracle! Someone shoot it. I hope to God you're doing some damage to him. Not a lot of damage. It may be time to abandon the artillery pieces. I'm going to leave you alone, Union artillery piece. And you need to stop. Lee, you need to stop refusing orders. Who's your commander? Okay, Kraus, I'm sorry, but you are causing too many issues. I can't have you just march in front of the fucking cannons. What are you doing, Kraus, you muppet? What are you doing, Kraus? Kraus! Kraus! That's not even Kraus, it's Lee. D. Lee, you fucking mong. I'm shouting at Kraus and there's not even Kraus. Kraus is like, I'm telling him to get the fuck out of the way. Fucking great. Great work, guys. Mission accomplished. Fucking D. Lee. D. Lee off. Another case of walking on wateritis. Let's see how well that works out. No one, like the command here, no one wants to listen to their commanders. Kraus and Kane need to go. Everyone is in open revolt over their commands. Yep, report the enemy retreat. Fucking Lee. Alright, Lee, you're getting a sack. I don't understand. I don't want to sack Kraus. It's not Kraus's fault. It's Lee being a bloody tosspot. Yeah. Lee literally sent his brigade in front of the gunfire of another brigade, and then turned to face away from the cannons. Alright, so 4,200, 1,300. The casualties weren't that big because of the nature of the battle, but it will get bigger as time goes on. So we need to sack D. Lee, or we need to sack Kraus and Kane. I think I'm going to sack Kraus and Kane for the betterment of the entire army. Yeah, Colonel Lee has fallen into disgrace. Damn fucking straight you have. That was an insane maneuver, but it's things like that. It's that randomness. The same thing with Cold Gateway to Hell. It's the randomness of the battles that really give it that extra flavour. You don't want to know exactly how things are going to pan out, and that one random moment was just like funny. You know, it adds to the battle. So let's save. And let's see, the Army of the Potomac. Army of the Potomac. You're going to get moved over here. You're going to get a new cannon. And you're going to get some more infantry. Alright, so who to sack? Who's getting the sack? Where are you, Lee? There you are. But it's got to. Kraus has got to go. Well, you're going to get sacked, Lee, and Kraus and everyone else can get sacked as well. Kirby Smith. Longstreet. Longstreet's a good bloke. And then let's start replacing other people. McCulloch, Stephen D. Lee. Oh god, no, you're going to get demoted. There should be an option to demote people. You're going to be a desk jockey from now on. Lee. A needs to go as well. Reigns, why not? And you know what? Lee's going to be in charge. I always have Lee in charge of an army. I don't know. You've got to have Lee in charge of an army. That should fix the issues I've been having. And the next battle. Straight in the frying pan, into the fire. Okay. So here's the little problem I was telling you guys about. So you see this army here? That's really supposed to be... Oh, where is it? Oh, I see, okay. So actually you needed a big boo-boo. So that was an army of 20,000. So that would have been 40,000 altogether, but because they sent an army over to fight the Army of the Potomac, that's left the Washington with only 23,000 men to defend, which is not good for Washington. Easy win, boys. Easy win. Can't go wrong. We'll be in Washington by tea time. Oh, where's my capture points? I own all the capture points again, do I? Alright, there's capture points. And there's my capture points. So even Stevens on the capture points. I'm going to play aggressive, but there's not any decent roads. Ah, there's a decent road. Need roads. Who will build roads? I'm an anarcho-capitalist. McDonald's will build roads. Let's move the armies up, like so. Yeah, I've gone big boy brigades this time. There we go. Let's start the battle. Chase, move forward to engage here. Yeah, the 2-army push is what. Oh god, I've left a I've left a corps by itself. Move over here if you can. That's gonna take ages to get anywhere as well. That's gonna be awful. This is gonna be a right middle battle, I think. Cavalry. Move on to the flanks. What sort of cavalry equipment have I got? Not any good stuff. And the artillery, of course. My beautiful, beautiful artillery. Whoa, go down. There we go. That better be my artillery. No, it's not. There it is. Yeah, the game plan is, I know I was going to play defensive, but I need to divert Union attention away from the West. And the best way of doing that is taking their capital. They'll just send everything over there now. At least until my Western armies have stopped dying. This is not going to be in the battle for any time soon. It's going to take at least a day before that gets anywhere because of how far away it is from the rest of the army. Which is not good. I don't know if I can see the messenger. No, I can't. Yeah. It made sense actually on the campaign perspective. It did. It was a strategically sound thing to do by the AI. Because yeah, but then because technically they could have won the first battle, and then they could have brought that army back to reinforce for the second battle, but sadly not, because they lost that battle and they're going to lose this battle because they don't have any. They don't have an army. That's not good. That entire division's been split in two. All right, who's the commander for this? Ewell, you better not fuck this up. Cohesion failing. Don't worry about this. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Macintosh. Just do some lovely music. Yeah, it just needs the AI to be better. I think all it needs is it needs to be the reinforcements on the campaign map for the Union needs to be better, and it needs to have better equipment. Because right now, half the time I'm facing the Union with Springfield muskets, when I've got like bloody Lee Enfields, you know, or Enfield muskets. So it needs better equipment, and maybe it needs a quicker. I know it's cheating a little bit, but maybe it needs a little bit of a quicker messengers. Give them like a speed hacks to make them go a little faster. You know, give them really fast horses. Yeah, you can keep it law friendly. Like the Union had faster horses. Look at my secret Union documents. Yeah, so you could, yeah, there's a lot of customization. You can rename your brigades. You can what's this? Woodbury arrives. Oh, it's only 100 men. I don't give a fuck. 100. I'd be more worried if there's like 1,000 Union men. Like, well, 20,000 Union men. But like 100 Union men. It's, yawn. Still movement from the enemy. We'll move forward some more. We'll use this core to engage. I call them cores, but they're divisions, but I treat them like cores. Why are you upset? Yeah, the way I treat them, they are more or less cores. Keep them as independent armies. I quite do like having big cores. Small cores are like more micro areas. A big core is a lot more convenient, especially if you've got a more of a narrow front on the battlefield. Still no eyes on the enemy. My army's gonna be pretty split up. I normally keep my cavalry as the sort of the sneaky guys because cavalry corps are so overpowered. Like if you get the best equipment, they almost got like E-Oldie machine guns, and the damage they do is insane. Because they get skirmish mode. Yeah, they get skirmish mode. They get better, more rapid firing, more accurate muskets with sometimes longer range, and so they take less damage, do like treble the damage, and they're fast. They're literally the tanks of the of this game. No engagement yet. I was so sure the army was going to come this way. I've had no infantry cavalry armies. I've had cavalry armies, and they are toxic. Because there's a mechanic you can do on the campaign map called raiding, where you lower the where you lower the national support of of that state by raiding with your cavalry. And of course, if you've got like 50,000 cavalry, it just deletes the support of that state. It's going to take a while for these guys to get orders. Okay. How about you guys? Are you almost in? I'm going to give you a wide flank. Yeah. And then you guys should be on your way. Cavalry's moseying on over. Who are you? Okay. Pendleton? Yeah. You do want to try and maneuver long roads and that if you want that extra bit of strategy, because of course you go faster, and if you're in front of them, you can send a reserve behind. Yeah, yeah, it's difficult to understand, but you don't actually have to think about finances in the slightest. You just go to funding 2, print money, and that's you set for the rest of the war. That is literally all you have to do financially. Like you don't have to worry about the blockade. You don't really have to worry about your economy. But I think they'll fix that eventually. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, literally the printer goes because at the end of the day, you're not going to be around for 1870, are you? When once hyperinflation kicks in, your job's to win the war, so it doesn't matter too much. Could move forward to engage, but I want to wait for the rest of my army to move up. I'm going to move forward a little bit. I will tend to go on to 10 speed on giving orders because I get less frustrated by the time it takes for them to do anything. You need to stop what you're doing. You're about to run into the enemy. Stop. Retreat. What are you doing? Run the fuck away, Stuart. Stuart, no! Stuart, no! Stuart! No, Stuart! Fuck! Get off your horse. Go to loose order. Start firing. Stuart! Yeah, once I've finished the 10 speed, I'll go slow. But this is just that once I've got the guys, I need to get the guys in position first. Otherwise, I'll just lose my mind. It's like, are they getting the orders? Are they not getting the orders? Why aren't they moving? And then I'll over order if you know what I mean. Well, Stuart, you got yourself in the battle. I hope you're happy. You've got mixed cavalry weapons, so don't expect you to survive very long. Let's try and push them off the field. I do like the new engine. It feels a lot more seamless. It runs a lot better. I think the graphics are a little bit crisper as well. That could just be me. It's going to take me until I don't think the rest of the army's going to get here in time. Oh, I wish you'd cancel that order. There you go, the messenger is getting his orders out. Finally. Oh, Stuart's not been doing too badly. How many casualties have you got? 141 casualties. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Okay, Stuart. Okay, that's the next cavalry. Where's my other cavalry? Oh, it's here. Charge! Charge, my pretties, charge! Oh, get on your horse when you charge. Ouch. I believe in you, Hood. Oh god. Okay, Hood, you let the team down a little bit, but at least you got the cannons gone. Don't retreat this way, Hood. Don't do it, you're going to surrender. No, Hood. Hood. He surrendered. The bastard surrendered. Hood, you fucking arsehole. That's a big division. Now be a Hood saying he surrendered, yeah. Thanks for that, Hood. Now Stuart just refuses to do as I tell him. Like he just refuses. Like we're just doing a constant march forward now. It's nice. I like it. Broken the Union Centre, even though their right flank is still pretty strong. I reckon they'll retreat soon. Oh, beautiful stuff. I'm going to need you to push that cannon. push them off the hill. Oh, and preferably shoot this guy. Do it now. Come on, Stuart. You're being a bit awkward now. Oh, I'll put him in charge. You know, I'll put him in charge. Jesus. Point blank. They keep on turning around. I think they've routed, but they're stuck. Redirect the armies. Gonna need you guys to start doing stuff. Charge! Ah, fuck. Note to self, don't frontally charge cannons. Unless you're cavalry. Even then, don't frontally charge cannons. Get the left flank's gone. I've got another army that's surrendered. I've got students surrendered. Fuck. My centre division's pretty banged up now. I've got reinforcements on the way, but it's going to take fucking ages. And then, so we've just about scraped the victory on the left, and now we're beginning the engagement on the right. I know there's a lot of Union bodies on the floor, just a lot of surrendered Confederates, so it's not all as good as I'd like it to be. And the end of the day, let's take a look at our casualty reports. about equal in casualties. Let's sort out this army. Went right at the start, but then I overextended. I should have waited for the other army to turn up. They should retreat after this. My little triangle. There we go. It should just be an easy push, just a general assault. Sometimes it's better to not engage or commit fully on the first day, so you've got more resources the next day. But I decided not to do that. And the micro is done. Stop refusing my orders. Bowen, you're getting replaced. Oh no, you're getting replaced. Can't really afford for you to ignore orders around cannons. I think these units are withdrawing. Can you reform the line? Hope you can, but you're about to rout Walker. You're almost there. That's going to take some time, but we're good. Far long range. This is not the easy wipe I thought it would be. We are converging to crush this union right now. I'm hoping that's where we'll get most of the casualties from now, is just to mop up. Walker's routed. I'm going to replace you. I'm going to make a mental note of who I'm replacing. So promote Stewart. Replace Bowen. Replace Walker. Maybe replace Kemper as well if he routes. Although he did frontally push, so won't hold it too much against him. Yeah. The Union's left being contained. We can 10 speed this now as a clean-up duty. Yankee, go home. Well, we are at home. We're in Washington State. Ah, sorry. Yeah, that's surrendered. Also. And that was the end of that battle. That was an example of a larger scale battle. Again, not too even, but still enough. But we can see with the mechanics in the game in place, it's not just a curb stomp in terms of numbers. Because of the speed of reinforcing troops and the effects command and control can have, you can actually have quite a costly battle even though you've got larger numbers. Also, you can see how the battle evolves throughout after each day. So it started as an initial push and turned into a two-front battle. Very interesting. So, casualties my end 7,600. I lost about 2 brigades from surrenders. They lost 17,000 because they lost a couple of brigades towards the end of the day from encirclement. Yeah, so this will be because a lot of their troops surrendered and the wipe after the large Confederate push. But it was even Stevens on the first day. If you look at the casualty reports, but after it was ogre for the Union. But the good thing about the Union, that's why I like playing as Confederacy. The Union's got manpower to spare, so even if I do destroy 30,000 of them, there will still be a challenge. Whereas if I play as a Union and I destroy 30,000 Confederates, it's like that's troops they can't get back. And with that, I think the West will hopefully move to the East now. And they're going to start hopefully they retreat from Arkansas, but they might build a couple of forts, that's the thing. I'll have to do a siege campaign in Arkansas. So who do I need to replace and get rid of? That was the Army of Shenandoah, which is sadly not in the Shenandoah anymore. So Hood's wounded in action, and he's still got brigades. So because we won that battle, I guess Hood came back. Stewart, I'm going to replace you with someone else. And then you're going to be in charge, Stewart. Because you didn't do too badly, actually. Bowen, you were a pain, weren't you? Where's Bowen? Is that Bowen? Bowen needs to go. And Walker, he needs to go as well. He's a bit of a coward. He wasn't even like on the front, like taking the gunfire, so I don't understand why he routed. And that should be those guys done. And that's Washington in our hands. National morale 54, that's not too bad. I mean, I've whacked it up really high, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't lose because of that. Now I need to build a depot for supplies. Where are we going to build it? Yeah. This army's going to move up to Frederick under Lee. Oh, he's got no readiness. I need to just put down a depot and wait then. Come on, let me put down a depot. There. And that, see, you can start seeing the Western forces begin to converge on my position. That should take some pressure off the West. 20,000 men, lows supply. 16,000 men. Low supply. But what I don't like is this Confederate invasion of Arkansas. It's a Union invasion, not Confederate. But you're still not ready yet. You're just not ready. Is it because you're in a low supply area? I'm going to move you down to Little Rock. And in the meantime, you're going to start building supply depots for me. It's pretty easy to take it early as Confederates, but it's about holding it after which becomes the problem. I reckon you'll eventually get pushed out, unless you're playing on lower difficulties. The reason why I kept Hampton's brigade here was one brigade is so I can fort up and build a big old fort. Because you can start seeing the converging troops soon. Why isn't bad? There we go, here's some more troops. There you go, so this is what I had planned for. What I had hoped that would happen. Now, fingers crossed we don't do too badly. This time I'm actually in the minority. So where are they coming from? Two ways, north, west, north and west. What can I afford to give up and what can't I afford to give up? Now, if they move from, they'll go down that main road. They'll definitely go down that main road. Yeah, exactly. Like in the early days, you could literally just walk into to Washington, and what do you call it? The previous patches, what was it? The Richmond, the forts in Washington were absolutely awful. There's forts everywhere, and and you just got bogged down and fought auto resolve, and it was absolutely cancerous trying to actually take Washington. I don't know what to do here. It's not really good ground to be fighting on. I may have to withdraw from Washington, but we'll see. See how the casualties go. If I take too many casualties, I'll just tell my men to withdraw. I am going to play risky business. I know the Union Army is going to be marching down here. So, if I bulge around here, I reckon I'll be able to do some damage. I need more cannons though, that's what I need. And then for the ultimate meme, parapets. That should be enough. Come on, give me more parapet. We World War One now. What the reason why I do these right angles is sometimes the parapets don't register. You've got to if you just do it as a straight line. So that's why I do these little right angle points. There's no particular reason otherwise, just to get the position to work. Oh, God damn it. Face the right way. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? That's everyone. I'm going to move this cavalry over to the right because that right flank looks like it's going to collapse in on itself. And I'll leave one cavalry unit here. And hopefully this will work. And I wish I had more cannons. Alright, who's kicking off now? Winston again gets sacked after this battle. Unless you do some absolutely amazingly godly work, you're going to get sacked. Now, good luck and try and fight as hard as possible. Probably should have told you this after the battle, if I'm honest. I think we'll be alright. The question is whether or not they hit this angle. If they hit this angle, we're going to have a bad time. But I hope they advance down here and just try and do a general envelopment. I would know my luck, they're probably marching down here. I was like, it appears you've lost your position. I started the battle with a lot of broken troops, which is not good. But they're going to do nothing this entire battle. Yep, Greg's coming in. Thanks, Greg. Oh, fuck. The lone cannon piece. If I ignore it, will it go away? Probably not. Yeah, Winston's already letting the team. So I'm sending an order to Winston to fire at long range, and Winston is refusing to follow the order and then reordering his men to fire at medium range, meaning that his men are getting shot at. Good luck, cavalry. Hopefully that cannon's just gone off on its own. I think it has. Huzzah! Who is the commander of this? I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Hoffman. This isn't the Napoleon Total War playthrough. Well, I may go back to that. And now I no longer have to worry about said cavalry, said artillery. So, altogether it has been working out according to my Kekaku. So, not too bad. What isn't working out is the fact that Winston, who is taking 44 losses, refuses to engage at long range. Winston just won't do it. Don't know why, it's against his principles. I'm pretty sure that means plan, isn't it? Like plan, my scheme in Chinese. It could mean completely something different, but I'm pretty sure. It's like, what do you call it? I watched this, yeah, I thought as much. I was watching, what do you call it? It was Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and it was, you know, it was all about that scheming about plans and that. It's like, oh, my Kakaku was like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh, this is a meme. Oh, my plan's not working. Oh, but I know your plan, and I'm going to go along with your plan because it's part of my plan. Ah, well, you see, in fact, that was in fact my plan all along. And then some other random character pops out and says, ah, you haven't heard about me, but this is all going according to my plan. And you're all going to miss out. And it's like, oh no. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, send the link, it's fine. I use my iPad, so you're not going to send me any stodgy viruses. And of course, anyone who's watching, flick links at your own discretion. If you end up bloody going on Lemon Party or something, it's your own fault. Even though Twitch won't see it that way. And I suppose the law won't see it that way either. let's take a look. Translator's note, Kekaku means plan, this according to... That's very cute. What's that from? Is that from, Death Note? No, it doesn't look Death Note-y. Looks too dark and ominous. Okay, frontal charge, let's see. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Death Note is the meme of plans and on top of plans on top of plans. I watched the first season and I really enjoyed it, and the second season was like, okay, there's just too many plans in this. Yeah. I understand you've all rather clever people in this anime, but maybe you're overthinking what you need to do. Yeah, they're frontally charging, all according to plan. But this is only the first core. Was it Blue? I think it should have ended on the first season, or the second season once Blue gets good news. And afterwards it's like, oh, this is too much, you know. Once he started becoming like a president or a bloody high-end politician, it's just like, not really my cup of tea anymore. I like him more when he was like a student. And controversial, I quite like the Netflix adaptation of Death Note, the film. Even though the older fanboys are like, this is awful, it doesn't make any sense. I was like, yeah, well, it's got to be relatable to the masses. I'm the reason why Death Note on Netflix is so awful. So give me all your dislikes, I feed off them. I am the consumer. My job is to consume. Is it going to be a set-piece battle? I don't think I'm going to have to do much. They had the numbers advantage now, but because that cause is YOLO'd in. But I may change the line of attack. I know how to read the subtitles, so I don't need to watch you. Oh, you got it dubbed now. You get the English dub for Death Note. All right, what have these guys done? So their cores retreated. That makes sense. Yeah. But now they should wait. They should wait till the other cores get here. If they try another frontal charge, it's just going to be a slaughter. It's just going to be Fredericksburg without the river. And it looks like some of my armies, some of my troops, have grown a spine and actually want to join the battle again. Based Confederates. In game, not in don't quote in game, not in real life. Don't you get me banned. But I think that's the only anime I've watched. I would like to watch Attack on Titan, but it's a bit outlandish for me. You know, giant titans, giant naked titans. It's a little bit weird. This is where I tell my soldiers to lie down. And tell my cannons to counter battery. That's a big eye sleep, is it? Fair one. Okay, that's the second core coming in. So they are waiting. Well, I saw the Attack on Titan game, and that looked boring as hell. Like it looks like as a what's the genre called? I forgot what the genre's called, but it looks mind-numbingly boring. I don't know what other animes to watch because the mainstream ones were Attack on Titan, Death Note. That's a good old classic. I used to read a lot of what do you call it? It was like a manga, but it wasn't, called Junji Ito. And that was good. It's basically horror and body horror a lot of the time, and of course it was made by the Japanese, so you can see how well that goes down. And it was pretty unpleasant and spooky. Yeah, Junji. Oh, it's the name of the manga. It's not the actual author. And I got into that from actually 4chan. They were posting some cartoon pictures of pages from Junji Ito. I was like, wow, this is some actually creepy stuff. Like there's one with like this kid is looking out his window of his apartment and sees this monster. It's like this really difficult monster. Because it's manga, the cartoon is really really graphic, and it actually looks really distorted and unpleasant. And then you can watch this monster sprint at full speed from where she was up to his room, and it's spooky as hell because it's the way that the faces and the monsters are made or are presented in the manga. Like you've got to use your imagination to see the monster, but the monsters in Junji Ito are spooky boys. It's just I always feel so embarrassed when I go to like to a bookshop and I'm hanging around the manga section. Like, oh, you know. Why can't I have like the good old days where you had like the adult section for films? You could also have the neat section for books. And it's like a curtain where you can go behind and buy your Junji Ito and leave. Or you just order it online, I suppose. Still not a lot of enemies coming in. What's the character figures like? Yeah. Good numbers. And this is a good way to train up my army as well. These guys are going to become experts. See if I can show it off to any people who haven't played before. So okay, so here you have stars, and this is like a graphic representation of how experienced these troops are. So inexperienced, of course, they're going to be prone to running away, cowardly, but the more experience they have, the more damage they inflict. They'll get, brigades, they get experience, veteran, crack unit, and eventually become these absolute powerhouses. And also you can get skills and things. So once you get a certain amount of experience, you can get skills to make them more accurate, give them better discipline, and so on. I tend to make them track shots because, of course, the longer the range, the more accurate they are, the greater damage they do. Still not a lot going on. This isn't their full army yet, but this is the problem with the core system, you see. They brought one core in. If they had, like, playing it as I play it, as one massive core, or one massive army, then of course it'd be a bit more scary. hoping that is going to be manoeuvring rather than retreating, but I suppose we'll find out. So what I think about the AI so far. So the first battle was bad pathfinding and a little bit of bugginess. Second battle was okay. Again, a little bit of bugginess with the river crossing. Still needs a bit of work. Well, still needs a lot of work. And this battle, again, is not finished yet. Maybe that's maneuvering, maybe that's retreating, but it still needs to get its logic in order. Once it gets reinforcements, it should start thinking like it's all one big army. So if one corps comes in and then 2 hours from now another corps comes in, the AI should think, okay, now I am one big army rather than trying to still keep on playing as individual corps. I don't know if it does or not, but from what I've been seeing, it doesn't. So let's see if these guys try and flank. They've pushed a corps over here or a detachment over here. They've taken its objective. Are they going to try and come round and flank? And if they are, then that will force me to retreat. Of course, I could play aggressive now. I could yeet forward and crush this, but I want to see if the AI is at least trying to think, or at least trying to be proactive. So now we wait. They're marching back. No, it's just to capture the victory point by the looks of it. Enemy reinforcements. Are they going to get any more reinforcements anytime soon? That's a little bit buggy. I can't remember where it is. Shame. Oh well. No, they brought their core back. Shame. I'm being a bit harsh on this today. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the battles. But I'm trying to look through the game this time through the eyes of someone who's having issues, who wants to buy it but is having issues with whether or not the AI is good enough, if you know what I mean. So I'm trying to look at through the eyes of being it only from an AI battlefield perspective and not from the role play, not from the setting or ambiance. I'm looking at purely from gameplay perspective or battlefield perspective. You're trying to hit that artillery all day. This won't do it, will it? Okay, second corps. What are they going to do? Let me zoom in. You're gonna bug on me, are you? Oh, there we go. Got a little bit stuck. That's what happened there. Got a little bit stuck. Next call coming in. That was a disastrous frontal charge the day before, yesterday. Okay, that's that cannon dead. I can switch to a different cannon now. Still have old capture points. It's not going to try and flank around. I've still got enough capture points to keep on winning. What are you going to do, AI? Let me see. You're going to send out skirmishers. Okay, I can counter that. I'm out of cover. You're going to try and push? Nope. Okay. Going to fall back in immediately. Never do. Trying to be a pain in my ass. And that's both artillery pieces down, so let's focus on the next artillery piece. I'm going to keep on counter battering. Second day, no movement. Probably waiting for that reinforcing corps. They have sent out skirmishers, which is understandable, but then that hasn't been difficult to stop the skirmishers. It's been mildly irritating. Like, how many casualties have those skirmishers given me? Really? That's total victories. There it is. 10,000 Union casualties. That's insane. Those cannons been firing non-stop all day. The joys of howitzers. I need to get rid of this chat. Reinforce that cannon. So what's the plan now, AI? What have you done? See a little bit of wrecking. You have not done a lot. Next core coming in. What's the logic here? Is he trying to win by arty spam? If he was trying to win by arty spam, then he would have targeted my artillery, but he's not. Is he winning by points? Is he just holding because he's got the point advantage? Seven victory points. He's only got one victory point. Can't be winning by point advantage. Meanwhile, I've got 3, 5, 5. Yeah, I'm winning massively by point advantage. Yeah, I mean, you can have it like that if you turn it off in the setting, but victory points give it an extra element of strategy. Now I can advance here and crush this. I'm just trying to give the AI as much time as possible to think of something. To maybe have another core come up to reinforce, to try and flank round. I've given him about 2 days now. Let's see what it does. I reckon by lunchtime today, if this chap does not advance, he's getting the good news. Okay, it's 10:19 now. What do you want to do here? We've got no choice. Let's begin in advance. We gave him a fair shout. We'll just crush him now. Evans is moving up pretty far. Ah, shit. Eggs were made. I reckon another steak was made. I'm going too fast now, I need to calm down. Whoa, horsey, whoa. Who's the commander of this? I need to get rid of E-Well because I've got too many revolts going on. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Hmm? I think they've withdrawn a little bit. They knew what the envelope I was trying to envelop them, and they've withdrawn a little bit. I think they have. I desperately need the left flank to start following the right orders. I'm about to get envelop myself. What are you doing? Ling man? Now I've just got a horde on my right flank. But the orders ain't coming. The delay in the orders process is real. I mean, the centre's still pretty good. But that left I'm a bit worried about. Which I think I have the right to be worried about. Because that left is pretty vulnerable. I'm going to see if I can pivot instead. But they're just not getting the orders. I'm going to shift you over to the left flank. Pop this up. Yeah, this is not good. So I really can't afford to pivot, like fade flank, because I haven't got the manpower advantage. And that unit's routed. A lack of command and control here. I'm going to have to do some sackings. Sorry gentlemen, but some of you are going to get sacked. Like the constant revolts within my commanders. Chase needs to go. Chase needs to go. Go Chase, you had your chance and you blew it. Complete disaster. Should have been a bomb. The AI has reacted well defensively. What I will say, they have reacted well defensively. They've retreated back, they've countered a flank, they are trying to advance now. Aggressively, however, not so much. And those cannons, God, those cannons are just wiping me. When do I count my losses? That's the question. Do I count my losses when I've only got 3 brigades left in the fight? Do I count my losses now and withdraw back to defensive lines and just cheese it? If I have 2 more brigades rout, I'm going to withdraw back into defensive lines. The right is just being held up completely. Held up and delayed. And the left has taken a lot of damage. Doesn't help that my 2 largest brigades are in a state of complete disaster. Don't understand what it's doing, I haven't got a clue. We have to divert assets and charge over here and maybe save that flank. Okay, Evans, save the day. Come on, Evans. Push. Push. Kemper's getting sacked. Kemper, you're getting sacked. Kemper and Chase, you're getting sacked. And Klingman, you get to stay for now because you filled that gap. And you might be getting promoted, Evans, because you're saving me basically. Alright, the tide of the battle's turned now. Once my commander controls, like you can see, it's no longer chaos. Like before, if you go back a couple of minutes, or the last time I was up here, it was all over the fucking place. But now I've got the line straightened out. We've split the armies in two. Reinforcements have come in and filled up any holes in the line, and so things aren't as bad anymore. But earlier was not going very well. It's those cannon pieces, because they're bringing the attached cannons along with infantry, meaning that the damage I'm taking, especially morale damage, is massive. Okay, 10 speed's fine. Just want to speed up a little bit because I want to have lunch beforehand. So go remember, Evans promote, Chase sack, and who else has been a pain in the ass? Though Macintosh, you didn't rout, and you have got things back under control, so Evans promote, Chase sack, got it. And the right flank is now under control. Yeah, they'll start retreating now. Major victory. Although I don't think it was a particularly good victory, it's costly as fuck. And finally, Breckenridge has withdrawn. You did a good job, Breckenridge. I might promote you, so I'll play it by ear. I don't know what Voss was doing. 9,000 casualties, yep, that's costly. Plus they've lost 19,000. So that's 10,000 more. But I don't really mean that much to the Union. Whereas what? So 10% of my army is 3,000 men. So I have lost almost 20% of my army. He has 60,000, 10% of that is 6,000, 6, 12, 18. He's lost 30%. So actually, if you look at it in real terms, he's lost 30% of my army, of his army. I've lost 20% of my army. as casualties. Stuart wasn't even in the battle. How does Stuart get bloody told off? Oh, because I suspect he was a broken unit at the start. I don't know if it's just me, but I think there's a lot more disobedience with this latest patch, especially with officers. You've actually got to pick and choose with officers now. That was again the army of Shenandoah. I'm going to give you some more artillery. Chase, you're going to get replaced, but first I need to replace Evans. Ewans, you're gone. And Chase, you're going. I should make it a little bit better for us. I want to see if I can recruit some more troops. Yes, I can. That's good. Get some more cavalry. And get another unit for you. This will be a big old army next time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. That's now an army of 53,000 men. Upgrade. Let's see what weapons we've got. Good. We got good weapons. Jesus. Really good weapons. And the army of Shenandoah has to get upgraded as well. But we have lost the ability to go on the offensive anymore. They may push us out. In the meantime, you keep building me a nice little fort. How's things going over here? The Army of Tennessee is still doing alright. The army under Major Nathan G. Evans is moving down to Little Rock, where I'm going to build up another supply depot. Oh, they're sieging me. So I've got no readiness left, you see. It's time to withdraw from Washington. I had no choice. I had to withdraw, otherwise my army would have been crushed. It wouldn't have died from a battle, it would have died from the complete attrition from the sieges and the auto resolves. I'm gonna get resupplied, I hope so. Yeah, who needs readiness? Sadly armies do. let's build another supply depot. I'm not going to build a lot of forts, I'm just going to build a lot of supply depots, but saying that, if I don't build forts, then if I lose to readiness, there's nothing stopping the Union army that's marching down and constantly pushing me back until they run out of readiness. So forts may be a good idea. Okay, and I'm going to save the game, because I'm going to go have a lunch, but I don't want to give you an overview of a battle readiness screen. So I'll go over lunch and restart and begin the stream again after lunch, and so I'll give you guys a general sit rep of what's going on. So over on the west, we attempted to build a large enough army to push the Department of Ohio out of Louisville and to make Missouri secede. This didn't work because our army wasn't ready and was out of supply, and we didn't have enough time to build up our supply depot. In short, we were pushed out, and from the retreat back into Arkansas, we took immense casualties from lack of supply, leading to basically 20,000 troops just being wiped from the face of the planet. Since then, the Missouri State Guard has been rebuilt under Nathan G. Evans and is resupplying and beginning preparations to hopefully advance, but slowly, north to Arkansas. Over in Kentucky, because of the defeat at Missouri, I had to create a new army to hold this junction in case any Union armies decided to march down and cut off the Confederacy at Vicksburg. So from there, I created a core system army with General Jackson in charge. From there, they've just been holding. There's been no engagement so far. Hopefully, just watching the army in Mississippi and hoping they don't advance. I know there's a Department of West there as well, which is concerning. I might actually have to check this army. 30,000 men, we should be alright. Over in Kentucky, one of our great successes is actually we took Kentucky quite easily with the Army of Tennessee under some random called Zolfkoffer. And since then we've advanced up to Covington, where we have a supply line set up, and we are now going to begin to fortify this place with forts. Because Kentucky is going to be a dead theatre. I know there's an army there, but I don't want to attract too much attention to Kentucky. Because of the collapsing on the west as early as at the start of 1861, I had to begin aggressive action on the east, and in doing so I had to push forward after some indecisive battles and take Washington. And since then we've been fighting a few battles in Washington just to attract Union attention and divert assets to the Union theatre so they don't move to the Western theatre, which we've been successful in doing. As you can see, there's so many Union troops or Union forces now marching down en masse that that's going to be troops that's not going to be on the Western theatre. I've built fortifications, built supply lines, and I'm now going to begin the process of building fortifications, which I'm going to do now, just to hold the Union, to keep your attention there. And I'm going to start building up defences of Richmond as well, which I'm getting the process of. Policy-wise, we've got our conscription now. We're going to go down finance, pay off our debts, and hopefully by the start of 1862, begin further offensive actions. The main effort here now is that now we've got the Union's attention, there'll be mostly defensive battles on the east, and on the west we'll begin aggressive action. I want to move forward and take Missouri, and I may even try and move forward with Jackson and his army to contest, what state is that? Illinois. So thank you, gentlemen. No worries, Hoffman. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed and continue to enjoy the game. So far, AI is still not very aggressive, but on the passiveness or on the defensive, it is shuffling its lines and it is creating a somewhat coherent defensive line. Still a lot of bugs though, which we've noticed in nearly all of the battles we've had so far. But apart from that, gentlemen, thank you for watching and have a good one. So adieu.